Yo, what's good, gang? This the Dope Guy, and I am back with another video, big dog. Yo, hope you guys are all doing well out there because I'm doing alright, and here I am spinning the block with content for y'all, man, on my soul. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, in today's video, we got my Philly from Germany. Shout out to Philly, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe to our channel first and foremost, bruh. 20 German words Americans use all the time and their real meaning. Can't wait to get into this video, man. Learn about the words that's in German that we use often, bro. I have no idea, bro. You know what I'm saying? We probably say it every day or been saying it all our lives and had no clue that it's German, bro. So I cannot wait to get into this video. I know it's gonna be very dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, shout out to her, subscribe to our channel. But before we tap in, subscribe to the Dope Guy, that way to get notifications every time I upload. And from right here on Snapchat and Instagram right across the bottom screen. So with that being said, I'm not gonna hold y'all much longer because y'all already know. Let's go, big dog. Let's get into it. Yes, sir.
You have definitely used these words before in English, maybe even on a daily basis, but did you know that they're actually German?
About to find out.
Servus and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Felicia. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I have been living in Cincinnati, Ohio off and on since 2016. So a few weeks ago I made a video about 20 English words that we use in German, and a lot of them actually have a completely different meaning in German than they do in English, like old-timer, just to give one example, which refers to an old person in English, but to German speakers, an old-timer is a vintage car. Check out the video to find out about the other 19 English words that we use differently in German. But today I'll talk about the opposite, basically, so about German words that are used in English. There aren't nearly as many German words in English as there are English words in German, but there are actually more than you would think. And a lot of them are words that people use all the time, but they don't really know that it's a German word. And even I wasn't really aware of how many German words are used in English, so for me it was super surprising every time I first heard someone use one of those words. Like, they're just saying something in English and suddenly I'm like, wait, what? You just spoke German? So for today's video, I made a list of 20 German words that are used in English, and I just picked the ones that are either used a lot or that I just thought were funny or interesting. But before we start with the list, I'd like to introduce today's sponsor, Skillshare, which is an online learning community that offers thousands of classes for creative and curious people. So there are a lot of video classes about photography, video making, interior design, and those kind of things. But you can also learn languages on there, German, for example, if you want to, or even learn more about entrepreneurship. And especially in times like these, when we're all struggling with new challenges and all of this uncertainty, it can be a great way to stay inspired or practice some self-care by expressing yourself creatively, like by taking a journaling or painting class, for example. I've actually taken a class called Simple Productivity, How to Accomplish More with Less, taught by Greg McEwen, and it was really helpful for me because I've been struggling with structuring myself and staying motivated these past few weeks. Maybe you can relate. And my biggest takeaway was to focus on what's essential to me personally and how I can prioritize that. So if you're interested in joining Skillshare as well, make sure to check out the link in the description below, because the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link will get a 2-month free trial of premium membership so that you can explore your creativity. And now here are 20 German words that are used in English.
Kindergarten?
Let's start with one of the most known ones, and that is kindergarten. In German we pronounce it Kindergarten, and it literally means children's garden. And even though the word is used in a very similar way in the two languages, it's not 100% the same. In Germany, kindergarten isn't part of the school system, but it's...
My niece about to graduate kindergarten. That's dope, bro. I ain't never knew that was a German word.
More like a daycare. Kids can go there from the age of 3 up until they start first grade, but it's not mandatory for parents to send their kids to kindergarten, and there is no mandatory curriculum either. Some kids may practice math and writing in kindergarten, but it's not a class setting, and the focus is usually more on playing and activities like doing crafts, singing together, going on field trips and those kind of things, while in the US, kindergarten is the year before first grade.
Yes, it is.
And it's part of the school system.
Yes, it
That's
is.
why it's
Out here
also
for sure.
called K to 12,
Yep.
kindergarten to 12th grade.
Yep.
So the kindergartens usually belong to a school and are a little more focused on academics.
Yes,
so same words,
for
but
sure.
different meaning
Yep.
in Germany and the US. And what I find funny is that the German concept of kindergarten is what Americans also call preschool sometimes, while Vorschule, the literal translation for preschool in German, basically stands for the American concept of kindergarten. So it's somewhat switched. Some German kindergartens do offer a Vorschule the year before first grade to prepare the kids a little academically. I actually had no clue that Americans used this German word before I came here, and the first time I heard it, it sounded so funny to me. Gesundheit is...
Oh, Gesundheit. Like if you say bless you when someone sneezes. Oh, okay, I knew now that I know. I know that, but I just didn't know how to pronounce it. I never saw it spelled out for real, so... Yeah, I figured that was what it was.
It sounded so funny to me.
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit is what we say for bless you in German, and Americans seem to use it that way too. Yeah. Especially among younger people, I found that they usually use it in a more funny way, but it can also be just used with a normal tone.
Yeah.
The word itself actually just means health in German, so whenever someone sneezes, we wish them health.
Right. Kaput.
Just like Gesundheit, I didn't know that this word was used in English before I moved to the US. We spell it with 2 T's in Germany, but we pronounce it the same way, Kaput.
Kaput.
And it basically has the same meaning in both languages. It means broken, damaged,
broke down,
destroyed.
Broke down, destroyed,
Kaput. My phone is kaputt, mein Handy ist kaputt. Or it can also mean exhausted, as in, I went hiking for 8 hours today and I'm so
tired.
kaputt.
I'm
ich bin
cooked.
heute 8 Stunden gewandert, ich bin total kaputt. And just like in German, where we say etwas geht kaputt, you also say something goes kaputt in English.
Doppelganger. I know, I just learned this like probably 10 years ago. Doppelganger. That's like almost like a look-alike. You know what I'm saying?
Another one which I love hearing in English is doppelganger, especially because it seems kind of funny to me that you would use a rather long German word that even has a
look-alike.
I mean, okay, in English it's usually written with just an A, but people could also just say look-alike or double in English.
Yeah, look-alike.
Why use doppelganger? Anyway, I think it's fun, and I think I first found out about this when I watched the American show How I Met Your Mother in English as a teenager, because that's like a whole theme on that show, to find all the main characters' doppelgangers.
Stein.
This one I just recently used in my video on alcohol culture in Germany and the US. And I have to say that it still feels kind of weird to me every time I use this word in English, or even when I just hear it,
I only know what it means.
because it actually has a completely different meaning in German. Beer Stein, or just Stein in English, refers to a beer mug, traditionally made out of stoneware, but it can also refer to the more modern glass mugs.
I've never heard that.
Stein means stone, and the beer mug is called Bierkrug.
Okay.
Some of my German viewers actually
that.
commented on my alcohol video and told me that in some parts of Rheinland-Pfalz, in the western part of Germany, people also use the word Stein when they refer to a liter of something. So they would say, ein Stein Bier bitte, 1 liter of beer please. It seems to be a regional thing though. I had never heard about this before, and I'm curious if there is any connection to the English use of the word, but I couldn't really find anything about this, so let me know if you know more about it.
Spiel.
The next one is Spiel, and even though this has a different meaning than the word does in German, I really like the English meaning because we don't really have a German equivalent for it. In English, Spiel is a kind of speech.
Never heard of that.
Especially one that is long and spoken quickly and is intended to persuade the person listening about something. So this is often used in sales situations, and for example, you could say something like, oh, they gave me the whole spiel about why their university is the best in the country.
Okay,
in German,
I've heard it.
Spiel, capitalized, simply means
I've
game,
heard it.
and spielen means to play.
Stool.
This one is not exactly a loan word from the German language, but it does have Germanic origins, and I included it in this list because I personally think that it sounds exactly like the German word Stuhl. But it's actually a so-called false friend because it has a different meaning in the two languages. Stuhl in German is a chair, while Stool in English is what we call Hocker in German. Kind of
Oh,
similar,
yeah.
but not
That's what we call a stool, a chair.
Dachshund. When Americans first used this word with me, I had no clue what they were talking about because I wasn't familiar with the word, and I also couldn't tell that it was supposed to be a German word with the English pronunciation, but now I know that Dachshund can be used in German as well.
I've heard that word.
But it's actually more common to call the dogs Dackel in German.
I've never heard
this
that.
This compound word consists of Dachs, badger, and Hund.
Yeah, I've never
dog.
heard that.
A badger dog, basically. And this is because the dogs were traditionally supposed to crawl into burrows and look for badgers.
That's one word I've never heard, bro. Never heard that. A wiener.
In English, this can also be used to describe a dachshund, wiener dog.
Wiener
but
dog.
It can also refer to just a wiener sausage.
Yep.
Or it's also often used instead of penis.
Right.
In German, we say Wiener. The German W is
Three meanings.
in English V. And it usually refers to the
Hell
sausage.
no.
Wiener Würstchen would be the long version. It can
I've seen that
also
word.
refer to a Wiener Schnitzel, which is
That
also
too.
something to eat. Or it can simply be used for a person from the Austrian city of Vienna, which is Wien in German.
Mm-hmm.
Wanderless.
I heard of that word
This is
too.
kind of an old-fashioned German word that we pronounce Wanderlust, and it's literally the desire to wander. So it means you want to travel. The word was used a lot in the literature of the Romantic era, but you can also call this Reiselust or Fernweh in German, which the last one is also an interesting word because it's kind of like the opposite of Heimweh, which is homesickness. So Fernweh pretty much means far sickness.
Okay. Angst. Yep.
This one is very similar to the German one, but it's not 100% the same. Angst, capitalized in German and with the German A, basically just means fear. And angst in English is also related to fear, but it describes a broader feeling of anxiety and apprehension.
Yeah,
It's often used in
anxiety,
connection with
anxious,
teenagers. Teenage angst is what a lot of young people experience throughout puberty.
Yeah.
And you can also say you're feeling angsty in English. So in English it describes more of a general feeling, whereas in German, Angst haben means to be scared of something. And that's usually something a little more specific, like you're scared of the spider. The English meaning of Angst doesn't have a good translation in German, but it could be translated with something like Existenzangst or innere Unruhe or Angstzustände.
Okay. Kitch.
Kitch is a concept that's really hard to explain,
Never heard that word.
But according to the dictionary, it describes art, decorative objects, or design considered by many people to be ugly, without style, or false, but enjoyed by many other people, often because they are funny.
Yeah, I've never heard that word.
His home is full of 1950s kitsch. It means the same thing in German and in English, and it's also pronounced the same. There's also the English adjective kitschy, which is kitschig in German.
Blitzkrieg. Yep.
This is a military term and describes a strategy of warfare that includes short and fast attacks. The term is often used in connection with World War II, but it actually had been used way before that. We pronounce it
Blitzkrieg. I could have guessed that. I could have really guessed that as a German word. I could have guessed that one for sure.
in German, and it literally translates to lightning war, because Blitz is lightning and Krieg is war. It's used the same way in both languages, and they even adapted the word blitz as a tactic in American football. This seems to be a very popular word in the US. I've been asked about this so many times.
How you pronounce it.
And what makes it so special is that this concept doesn't even really exist in the English language, which is why there isn't an English word to describe it, which is probably quite a strong statement about the German culture. Schadenfreude consists of Schaden, which means damage or harm, and Freude, which means joy. So this is the joy that you feel when someone else gets harmed or fails.
Damn.
Not very nice.
That's messed up. Foosball.
All sports fans should know this one. Foosball in German means soccer, or football in British English. Foosball.
Yeah, I know the foosball. Yeah, I know that
which
for
we
sure.
usually call kicker. Or
I can't play foosball for shit, bro. I suck at that game. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Tischfußball in German. This is another concept that doesn't have its own
Zeitgeist.
English translation, just like Schadenfreude, and therefore the German word is used in English and some other languages too. Americans usually say zeitgeist. In German we pronounce it zeitgeist.
I've never used that word.
And this consists of the word Zeit, which means time, and Geist, which means spirit. So zeitgeist is the spirit of the time, which describes what's going on culturally, religiously, and intellectually during a certain time period. Woodstock was part of the 1960s zeitgeist, for example. And in English, they even made it an adjective, which we don't even have in German, zeitgeisty.
Schnaps.
This one I also mentioned in my video on alcohol culture. In German, we spell it like this and say schnaps, and it means hard liquor.
Yeah, that's liquor.
In English, it's mostly used as part of the name of certain liquors, like peppermint schnapps or peach schnapps. Wunderkind in English, Wunderkind in German, and this literally translates to miracle child. Wunder is miracle, Kind is child. So it describes a person that is very clever or talented and becomes successful at a young age. One of the most common examples for a Wunderkind is Mozart.
Poltergeist.
This looks a little bit similar to zeitgeist. Poltern means to clatter, and Geist means ghost,
like the movie.
Spirit, and this particularly describes a ghost that makes noise in the house. And
we've all grown up watching the Poltergeist movie growing up, scared the hell out of all of us back then.
Objects. Whether you believe in that or not is a different story.
Schmutz.
And last but not least, the final word on my list is schmutz. This one is pronounced and used the same way in both languages, and it means dirt. And schmutzy in English or schmutzig in German means dirty.
Got it.
So this was my list of 20 German words that are used in
I like
English.
This list.
And there are many, many more, of course, especially regarding food, like pretzel, bratwurst, or Hefeweizen, just to name a few examples. If you're interested in this, you should also definitely check out the channel Kelly Does Her Thing, because she has talked about German loanwords in English too recently. Let me know in the comments below what other German words you like to use in English and what you thought of the ones that I mentioned. Were there any surprises? Do you use them differently than what I described? Feel free to share your thoughts with me and with everyone else. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out my video on English words that are used in German as well, and also all of my videos on culture differences, of course. And if you're not a subscriber yet, make sure to subscribe to my channel for free. You can also follow me on Instagram, and if you want to support me even more than by subscribing or giving me a thumbs up, check out my new Patreon page, and if you want to, you can become a patron for this channel and get some exclusive behind-the-scenes insights or get to participate in a Q&A session with me. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey, that was a good video, man. Shout out to Felicia, man. Shout out to her, man. Make sure you go subscribe to her channel. Philly from Germany. Shout out to her, man. A lot of words, some of them words, most of the words I've heard of, like Doppelganger. I learned that like 10 years. I learned that in college, I think. Learned that. Wiener, of course. Blitzkrieg, I've heard it used in the term of like war or whatnot, so I heard of that. But yeah, man, I did not know kindergarten was a German word. I had no idea, bro. My niece about to graduate kindergarten in a week. Shout out to her. But yeah, man, I had no idea that was a word, bro. You learn. I love watching videos when I learn shit that I had no idea that these were really words, bro. Like in the German sense, bro. We've been saying these words our whole lot, most of our lives, bro, for real. And then of course there's some I've never heard of before. But hey. Always good to learn something new, man. Shout out to her, man. Like I said, make sure you go subscribe to that channel. Support her in any way you can. Much love, respect to her. And yeah, man, dope video. I enjoyed it a lot, bro, for real. But yo, I hope you enjoyed the reaction to this video. If you enjoyed my reaction, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Dope Guy Big Dog. Hit the notification bell whenever I upload. From right here on Snapchat and Instagram, right across the bottom screen. Any other videos you may check out, please comment to this video and my other videos, and leave likes and comments on all my videos to help grow the channel, help with the algorithm for sure. Any more videos you may check out, leave a comment in the comment section below. Now I got you. I'm going to spin the block. But yeah, man, it's the Dope Guy, and I am out. Yes, sir.